Hello everyone, I'm Mallory Gore and today I will be presenting on hearing loss in the geriatric population for SLP 318. After this presentation, I would like for you all to be able to understand the hearing loss in the geriatric population, to be able to discuss the symptoms, assessment, and treatment of hearing loss in the geriatric population, and to also be able to discuss hearing loss in the geriatric population in relation to speech-language pathology. Causes of hearing loss. This may be aging, which is presbycusis, noise, heredity, and disease. Hearing loss in the geriatric population is mostly caused by presbycusis. Presbycusis is an age-related hearing loss that is the gradual loss of hearing in both ears. Presbycusis seems to run in families and may occur because of changes in the inner ear and auditory nerve. The loss is gradual, causing someone with presbycusis to not realize that he or she has lost some of his or her ability to hear. Hearing loss affects about 2/3 of people aged 70 years and older. Hearing disability is an important issue in the broader context of geriatric medicine because it is associated with numerous health issues and social consequences, such as reduced communication function, social isolations, loss of autonomy, impaired driving ability, and financial disadvantage. Studies have shown that older adults with hearing loss have a greater risk of developing dementia than older adults with normal hearing. Cognitive abilities decline faster in older adults with hearing loss than in older adults with normal hearing. Furthermore, the prevalence of age-related hearing loss is high, but the rate of hearing aid use among older adults with cognitive impairment is low. Geriatric patients who have hearing loss may also present with dementia or cognitive impairment as well. Geriatric patients who present with cognitive impairments may have more difficulty maintaining the use of hearing aids. This may be due to the fact that the patient is functioning at a lower level and is not able to communicate when their hearing aid is not working. For example, a woman presented with cognitive impairments and had to wear a hearing aid. This woman was not able to communicate when her hearing aids had died. Therefore, this left her unable to hear or communicate. Here I have a video for y'all. What is age-related hearing loss?
We all lose some of our hearing as we age. In fact, age-related hearing loss is quite common among people who are in their 60s and 70s. As we age, our ability to hear high-frequency sounds is reduced. It becomes more difficult to hear consonants such as S, T, K, P, and F. Women's voices and children's voices become harder to hear. It also becomes more and more difficult to hear in noisy environments, such as social gatherings and parties. An age-related hearing loss is a so-called sensorineural hearing loss. The reason for this is damage to the tiny hair cells in our inner ears. Age-related hearing loss cannot be cured, but it can be treated with modern digital hearing aids. Hearing aids will help you hear better. If you think you might have an age-related hearing loss, you should have your hearing checked. You can find out more about age-related hearing loss at the world's leading website on hearing and hearing loss.
Okay, let's get back to the presentation. Moving on to symptoms. It is difficult for this population to hear high-pitched sounds such as s or Communication through conversation may be difficult, especially in noisy environments. So as they were just saying in that video, if you were in a noisy environment, it may be harder to understand people. Women and children's voices may be more difficult to understand due to them talking at a higher pitch. Tinnitus may occur in one or both ears, and tinnitus is ringing in the ears. Sounds can be very annoying and sound extra loud. And lastly, the speech of others may sound slurred. Geriatric patients who have hearing loss will typically have a difficult time with communication, especially if they present with dementia or cognitive impairments. There seems to be a connection between hearing loss in the geriatric population and dementia, cognitive deficits, and other health conditions or symptoms. Hearing loss has consequences for emotional well-being, can lead to fewer interactions, and result in reduced quality of life. Hearing loss can lead to loneliness and can make them feel socially isolated. Here is another video, hearing loss due to aging, a common problem. We will only be watching a minute and a half of this one.
This oceanside Verbo is about to become the backdrop for an unforgettable vacation memory.
Presbycusis, otherwise known as the hearing loss of aging, is the most common form of hearing loss that patients have. 80% of people will have hearing loss of aging or presbycusis by their 80th birthday. In order to better understand presbycusis, you need to understand how the ear works. The way the ear works is sound comes in through the ear canal, hits the eardrum, and goes through the 3 bones of hearing. The first bone of hearing is called the malleus, the second bone is the incus, and the third bone of hearing is the stapes. The stapes, or third bone of hearing, interfaces with the hearing organ called the cochlea. Cochlea means snail shell in Greek, and you can see it's shaped like a snail shell. Within that, there are little receptor cells that receive the sound, turn it into a nerve signal, and send the message to the brain. In presbycusis, there is a deterioration of the receptor cells within the cochlea. Typically, in presbycusis, people lose more hearing in the high tones than they do in the low tones. In the low tones, in terms of words, the vowels are found, A, E, I, O, and U. In the high tones, that's where the consonants, the softer parts of words, the parts of words that give them meaning occur. So for instance, the S, P, F, T sounds occur in the high tones. So people who have presbycusis will say, I know people are talking to me, but I have a problem understanding what they're saying.
Okay, let's get back to our presentation now. Hope you all enjoyed that video. Moving on to assessment. So first, the physician will administer an otoscopic examination. This will check the outer ear canal and the eardrum or tympanic membrane. The physician will look for, first of all, damage to the eardrum, second of all, impacted earwax, inflammation or infection, and then the patient will be referred to as an audiologist if needed, and an audiogram will be administered. The audiogram will reveal any degree of hearing loss if sounds cannot be heard by the patient. Having access to healthcare and intervention procedures is an important part of hearing loss in the geriatric population. Some evidence exists suggesting that adults who live in communities with poor access to hearing healthcare have poor quality of life compared with adults with hearing loss who live in communities with access to audiologic and other healthcare services. It is important to keep in mind that people with hearing loss in the geriatric population who live in urban areas may have more access to physicians, social groups, and intervention, whereas people who live in the rural areas may not have the same access. In terms of audiological assessment, the importance of otoscopy and cerumen management is due to researchers who reported a high prevalence of impacted cerumen in geriatric hospital in patients. Furthermore, moving on to treatment. Treatment in relation to hearing loss in the geriatric population depends on various factors. First of all, this may be how old the individual is. Typically, for geriatric population, the patients are 65 and older. This may be due to their overall health, so if they have other health conditions as well, their medical history, meaning what they have been through in the past, the tolerance of medications or procedures, the severity of the hearing loss, so mild, moderate, or severe, and lastly, this may be due to clients' wants or needs, which also goes along with, as we know, evidence-based practice. Some of the treatment options may be, first of all, a hearing aid. And with a hearing aid, you will absolutely want to have a trial period. Second of all, it may be training through speech reading. Techniques for preventing excess wax in the outer ear, because wax in the outer ear can create presbycusis. And lastly, assistive devices such as a cochlear implant, and there are absolutely others as well. The broad range of negative medical, functional, and psychosocial associations with age-related hearing loss has elevated this highly prevalent condition from an individual problem to a public health priority. An interdisciplinary team is a fantastic treatment approach according to research. Given the interdisciplinary comprehensive care model of PACE, these organizations present an ideal opportunity to incorporate hearing and communication supports into a person-centered care approach. Application to speech-language pathology. As an SLP, it's always important to take a look into the patient's case history because the patients may have other health conditions. They may have hearing loss, dementia, and/or other health conditions. That's why it's important to look into their medical history and always do this as the first step. This can affect how the therapy is actually performed. Second of all, patients with hearing loss may have dementia in the geriatric population. As you have seen, this is very prevalent. It has been talked about all throughout research. These patients will likely need an SLP or a speech-language pathologist because their language may be deteriorating due to damage in parts of the brain that controls language. There is more to communication than access to acoustic information. Audiologists and speech-language pathologists have long recognized that approaches to oral rehabilitation must include consideration of activity and participation levels of functioning and environmental factors that hinder or facilitate hearing and communication. So it's very amazing to see that speech-language pathologists and audiologists are coming together to create that interdisciplinary team. An SLP will work on communication therapy with a patient who has hearing loss. An individual who is in the geriatric population and has hearing loss most likely has a hard time communicating in various scenarios. With this being said, it is the SLP's job to improve their communication through, first of all, speech improvement, then speech and lip reading would be something else they would work on in therapy, and then lastly, hearing aid instruction interventions. Here are my references for articles, my references for websites or pictures. Thank you so much for listening. The end.